Here, T3 Live, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Wheels in Motion shoe. So, blah, 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 markets in turmoil, everybody's getting killed. So, the thing is about what's going on right now is that you would think that we'd have like a bunch of weekly long red bars, and we don't have that. Basically, essentially, what we're doing right now, what the market's doing is disseminating a gap. So, what happened? Well, just like we were talking about last week, it talked about the problem with the monthly breaks. We have two reversals on the monthly, and what that did is on Monday kicked in a simultaneous break because as the selling started off on Monday, that triggered a ton of weekly signals, a ton of all daily. Everything was triggering the downside. That's what we call it a simultaneous break. And what that did was reconfirm this monthly break, the two up and the two down, and the QQQ. The same, so that's still in force. Diamonds, small cappers, right? You name it. So they're all two reversals. So this is a rev strat, 1, 2, 2, right? So the thing is that what we're doing right now is we're still disseminating a gap, and what I mean by that, so if we go back to the SPY, we got an inside day here, but the thing was we gapped down. Right, so that's going to keep that monthly real ugly. But the thing about it is that, as far as we're concerned, if we go inside day and up tomorrow, as far as we're concerned, the direction from the opening of the week is up, right? If we take this out, now the week goes green, right here, right? That matters to us, right? Because that tells us the direction. It's also changing it back to the upside. So at that point, we would still be a 2-week to the downside, but then you set up the potential 3-weeker and go out and go and take these highs out. Right now, obviously, that would be a great distance. It would more likely be a compound 3. Let's say that we could close higher, up in here and then Friday, and then take that out next week. Then we'd be looking for a compound 3. So the way that this is occurring is not how it might appear to a lot of people. It gapped down. Now we've got an inside day, and this is like a new week. Either way, and if they take this, now we would prefer the downside because of the monthlies. This throws it into conflict. It's also, we want to make sure that we're keeping track of the VIX. So if it starts creeping back up, we'll see if VXX never met an up gap it couldn't fill. So it wasn't quite inside today, but we'll keep an eye on that because there's massive inside days. SPY one of them, and the diamonds and all that kind of stuff. So just like a simultaneous break on Monday, tomorrow we're going to be looking at all these inside days to see if we have a simultaneous break. Do they all break in the same direction? Because right now they're closer to the highs. Do they gap up and try and come 3? So the jury's out on that, which we'll see. So last week I talked about those monthlies that were close and certainly got what we wanted right out the chute. Let me just leave it like that. And specifically W day here, and so that's done its job, right? So when we have an outside bar and then you have a 2 countering it and coming back in, the magnitude is to triangle them out and go outside. These 2 is outside that, so we got that in W day already. Now I pointed that out, and now still here, so now still has some room to come down here. All right, so we'll see. Let me tighten this up here. And so once again it gaps down, and so for the week, now it's green, right? And so that's counter, stuff like that. So that's what I mean by things aren't exactly what they appear. We're still disseminating a gap. And so if we go back to the SPY real quick, we had Amazon too. Here, Amazon. So Amazon's green on the week after doing this, the 2-2 month that we talked about last week. So you got some conflict in there, right? And so with SPY, you're going to be looking at this. If you look at the 60, all right, here. So here's today, all inside of this, right? So if we get through the inside day and we take this out, the question is, do we stay above this, 288.21? Because if we go above that and then come back in, then we can try to triangle back out and just see what kind of price discovery this is, right? Does it inside day 212 reversal, and that's all she wrote, and back up we go? But we'd want to know about getting back into something like this. So if we go to, we also have earnings, and the first things I train people on are the 30s and 60 gaps, especially during earnings season because there's so much of it. And if you look at some of the stuff from today, IFF, gaps down, and you go to the 60, is your inside 60 continuation, 2, 1, 2. Below here, 123.34, and no higher highs, right? There's no higher highs on this, so you can feel free to let it go. And then it closes out almost 119, so $3 and change there for doing nothing. That also went inside 60 down here, I believe. Yep, here at 120.01. So you got another buck there if an ad, stuff like that. BDX, and sometimes we do country and western back and forth. And so if you watch the 30 here, BDX goes outside, inside. That's 3-1, and then takes it down here. 235.23. Then you got another 2-2 reversal 30 here, back above 230, 260. And boom, no lower lows on that. Look at this. 230, 260 goes out $10 higher, right? On a 30-minute chart. It's not that hard, folks. And on the 60, you got the inside 60 breaking up here. 235.57. There's $7 on that. If you go to, I talk about the mother bar not being able to get out is a problem, and that we can expect back and forth. So when this opened, DCO did go inside 60 up here, right? But it couldn't get out of this mother bar. That's a problem. All right, stuck in there. Then it goes inside, and you can take this, right? Because we know that there's going to be a new price discovery series if you can't get out of here, right? So you can reverse if you took that, or take this down if you did nothing so far, 47.67, and that goes out, $1.50 lower. If you go to TTWO, you're going to see the similar. Gets in here, goes inside, gets up, but it can't get out of here. Right? That's a problem. So we know that a new price discovery series is going to begin. 2-2 reversal here below 125.74. So that goes out in the buck and change lower on that. SWAV. This was nice here. And so you can see it gets out of the mother bar. Here's this big outsider, then 3-1 inside shooter below 45.02, and you got a little higher high down in here like 43, so a couple bucks there or whatever. There's so many different ways to play this. This is just the basic 30-60s. When you get down to 15s and 5s, you can really bang this stuff. As well as what you might want to do as well is keep up some 30-60s and have a couple layouts so you can go back and look at the day before, because some of this stuff keeps going. ALLK. And this thing just kept jamming today. Boom. All right, and there's your 2-2 continuation on the daily. And so you want to keep stuff on that. Also understanding why, and I talked about it in last night's video and the halftime show, and understanding why we do a certain sequence and what we want to look for. So today when SPY does this, you got markets in turmoil. Oh my God, that's the end of the world, right? But we start to recover, right? One of the first things we want to look at is anybody who could take out yesterday's highs. Why? Because anybody who stayed short something can stay short. We've got front page news, the market's going to hell, right? But if you're short, right, and you go underwater, right, and how do we know they go underwater? Is because for the week, stuff like Whirlpool goes back up, right? This thing goes back up, and that's not showing the right price. 1 second here. There we go. So if anybody shorted Whirlpool yesterday, right, they got what they wanted. They got the market to tank. Now, Whirlpool didn't tank. Right? So if they held, that their hopes is the market tanks and Whirlpool catches up and continues to puke with it. That's not what happened. They got reversed on here. So that's exactly what you want to look for. Ulta here doing that. And then another thing you can look for as the market recovers is anybody who gapped up with the market, but then starts to fail and try to go outside bar. And that was your beyond here. Big outside day. And that was, if you just watched the 60, it was very simple. Outside 60, boom, 3-2 right here. Below 172.15, doesn't make a higher high until 164, so there's another $6 there, and stuff like that. So just staying on stuff like that. Another thing you can watch here is anybody, because of these monthlies, right, because of the SPY monthly reversals and like almost everything flashing reversal on the monthly, at least at this point, albeit we're disseminating gap. One of the things we can look for is make sure that you, on your buy list, is you can look for things that are taking out last month's highs. Once again, anybody short this stuff, screwed. They got what they wanted. They got markets in turmoil, and these things are going up their chute. So You got Zoetis, ZTS. Now you got some exhaustion risk on a lot of this stuff because you're going straight into the highs. We prefer to come back through a previous range like here, this inside month, and rip her back up. But that's what we got. You've got gold also still going on the month, and you can look at the GDXs of the world and the GOLDs of the world and stuff like that. Still going. USFD here. And you can see that's taken out last month's highs. ATUS. And just a gapper and sitter. Tyson Chickens. Inside month to the upside. MTZ. Boom. In their face. American Tower. American Tower. So that means when you get the American Tower going 2 up, 2 down. Boom. Coming up here. You want to be able to know the subsectors. CCI. Right, CCI and S back. Right, those are the towers, and they'll trade very similarly. You've got ACAD here, taking out last month's highs, and the Shack today was boom in their face. And there's Momo Hammer's Shack. You can see this daily got them good right here. This is the 2 down, 2 back up, and had some folks in on this one, and that was real nice. All day screamer, if you will. Also, since the market did recover, right, at least 2 inside day in green. Then, if we start to fail tomorrow, or like at any 60 that starts to go because of the levels of volatility, it was very clear on who was going to be the weak hands. XLE. You can see this taking out yesterday's lows. XOP went and took out yesterday's lows. OI8. All right, so it's very clear on where you want to be over there. And PXD still going on the daily. Concho. All right, all this kind of stuff. And Oxy, he's pummeled. Right, and so being able to have a watch list up at all times where you have the main sectors up helps you focus on exactly where you're going to want to be, all right? And you can see this. So anytime that we get a new 60 and the SPY starts doing something here, left or right, on the 60 going, it's going here inside 60 back to the upside. Here's your signal there on your inside 60 above 285.98. No lower low on that, right? So when you start to see any red or anything on shorter term, to go back towards the week. And then when you get this inside and up, here you're going to go after any of those 2 days to the upside. And so if we just take a look, basically we're moment to moment in this market, obviously staying on the gappers, but because we're disseminating a gap, that's why we're changing directions all the time on who we're going after. But if you look at like some of the inside days, like here's Apple's inside day on a Tuesday, so which means the weekly is nothing, right? So as much as yes, there's dollar declines if you came in long and get pummeled on the gap, but as far as the movement itself, there hasn't been that much, right? You can see that there. You've got Twitter. Here's an inside day, and if you go to the weekly, you're going to see this. The movement has been a little bit, but not that much. What you would think you might see when you have front page news. Oh, we're down, get killed. Here's J.P. Morgan going inside day. On the weekly, nothing. Right, it's not movement. So what we like is them long red and green bars. And right now, those long red bars are in the energies, if anywhere, and maybe some Baidu China are having some problems here too. Like so. So Baidu, and you see the monthly takes that out. Weekly, at least it's nowhere near the opening. At least at this point, it's not a big disaster, but you can see the difference. And I just want to keep showing you some more because it's important. When people are talking about the market getting killed, it's Netflix. Look at this doji weeks, right? An inside day after stopping them out, trying to get the slight lower low. So taking it from what I just said, it's like we're going to constantly be watching how this group gap, if you will, is getting disseminated. Are they using certain strengths to get out of stuff or to drive stuff into the highs? And then when there's any weakness about looking at the things that are taking out last week's lows. And now that's going to be the oils. But for the most part, disseminating the gap. I can't stress that enough. Here, once again, according to us, between the open and close, this thing's just doing nothing, right? So we want to see if it takes that day. We want to see if it's a simultaneous break to all the days and everything starts signaling back, and then we'll focus on a lot of the weeklies to see if that's how much change that's going to cause. How many of these stocks that are recovering because it's a gap are actually green on the week as opposed to net red. And that's what we'll be doing in the videos at the halftime show. And TLT, here you go, TLT still going. The bonds, so you've got the gold and the bonds. And you can see this here, up and then continuation. See the difference? Then a lot of this stuff in this monthly takes off. 3-2 bonds doing their job. So bonds and gold doing their job. Stocks right now, somewhat, like I said, we're disseminating a gap, weakness in the oils, and day-to-day strength and weakness going back and forth, going back and forth. So I'll be on that stuff on the halftime show, tell you exactly what we're looking for, just like I did today. If you haven't had a chance, go to our Facebook page and watch it because I explained the exact sequence we were looking for, and then you can go back and see what happened. Also, I'm always here Tuesday and on the VTF all day long. And if you're not with us, I always ask this: why not? Click the link here. Come see us. You can see the amount of movement we can get out of these gaps, and we do it every single day. You should too. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith in the Black. Quant is VTF here at T3 Live at the Wheels in Motion Show.